post it.
Of course. So thank you so much, Dr. Deepak Chopra, for being with us again in Israel via live, via Zoom. But we miss you. First of all, we miss you.
Well, I'm hoping afterwards, when the pandemic starts to die down, I can visit again. Maybe we see you in California as well.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. And a lot of people are with us right now, very excited about this conversation. We are at the end of a full day about well-being and about the new medicine and what we called after Corona area, while you are in LA, still in the middle of the Corona and experiencing some challenges over there. Can you please share with us, first of all, what's happening right now in LA? And second, how do you see this time, Corona time and post-Corona time, in terms of well-being and in terms of the opportunity that exists in it to the world and to the individuals?
Well, I think we're learning a lot about COVID-19, particularly the fact that the morbidity and the mortality is very different in different regions, not only of the United States, but across the world. It's kind of perplexing in the beginning.
Of the opportunity that exists in just a second, it shows you twice, but we are fixing it, yes.
Well, I think we're learning a lot about COVID-19, particularly the fact that
Yes, it's working now. It was double, but it's worked very well. Thank you.
So what I was saying, we are learning a lot about COVID-19, and in the beginning, of course, it's very confusing. The United States has 5% of the world's population and about 30% of the world's cases, including deaths. There are countries with much poorer conditions of living that are apparently doing better. Within the United States, there are pockets where people are doing very badly and where people are doing much better. So I think when we do these computer models, first of all, we do not feed in all the information because it's impossible to. What is the weather today? What is the humidity today? What is the particulate matter in the atmosphere today? Because the virus is also carried by particulate matter. What is population density? What is the density of the movement of people? What is traffic like? What is happening at the airports, in public transportation, in nursing homes? So, it's very complex. One thing we do know is that the transmission can be controlled by all the measures that are being recommended. Social distancing, etc., hygiene, that's common sense, okay? But what we are not probably recognizing, and this is very controversial, what I'm going to say, is that viral mutations, of course, happen all the time. Bacterial mutations happen all the time. The mutations of the genes in our body happen all the time. Cancer is a mutation, for example, of a genetic information. And this is happening all the time. Now, there are only very few mutations that happen where we do not know the cause, okay? So even in cancer mutations, there are a few mutations, whether whatever you call them, spontaneous, de novo, basically means we don't know the cause, okay? That happens less than 5% of the times. Usually mutations, any mutation, has a cause, and the cause is a stressed biosphere, a stressed microbiome. Now, just for 1 minute, if I can explain what the microbiome is. The microbiome is all the genetic information of the planet. The planet is a confluence of, an entanglement of genetic information. So the genetic information exists in plants, in bacteria, in viruses, in fungi, And that microbiome is more than 90%, 95% of your own body, So the microbiome of the biosphere and the microbiome of your body is the same microbiome, okay? In other words, the biosphere inside your body and the biosphere of the planet is the same microbiome with few variations, right? Depending on what you eat, where you live, etc. When the microbiome is stressed, because the microbiome is the ecosystem of existence. And by existence, I don't mean Doron's existence or Deepak Chopra's existence or Israeli existence or US existence. By existence, I mean existence, whatever exists. Okay, life. So the microbiome, the genetic information of the biosphere, which is the same inside your body and the same outside the body, is the microbiome. When that microbiome is stress means environmental pollution, climate change, extinction of species, poison in the food chain, petroleum products in your food, okay, manufactured food, processed, refined, lots of stuff in it, chemicals, antibiotics, hormones, and even inflammatory products, petroleum products going into the food, all causes inflammation of the microbiome. And that inflammation stresses the microbiome, giving permission to cells to mutate. So then cells mutate because of environmental toxicity. Also, the toxicity environmental that we call environmental toxicity is not out there. It's also in here because it's the same stuff, right? It's made of this. This is made of the same stuff as the trees, the earth, the plants, the whole ecosystem of life, which is an entangled microbiome, which means all species. Now, when the system is stressed, then there can be a mutation, and the mutation ravages across the whole genetic network of information, which means that which is informing life. Right now, the ecosystem is informing life, and there's a mutation which says existence is under threat. Existence is under threat, so existence has to repair itself. And so what does existence do? It says, human beings, you're only part of my existence. Please go back to your cages till we fix ourselves. And we can see the fixing. You know, the bees are coming. You saw that bees, which produce 90% of the world's nutrition, are back. The birds are singing. The air is cleaner. The stars are shining. People are breathing better. Even in Bangalore, they're breathing better. You can see the Himalayas from hundreds of miles away, and fish are returning to dead lakes. Even the canals of Venice are seeing fish. Now, what is happening? Existence, by the way, existence will not be stopped. By existence, I mean life and all existence, not just human existence. Existence is invincible. It is unstoppable. It is self-regulating. It is evolving. And the pandemic is just a symptom of existence self-regulating itself. So, you know, as soon as one species, Homo sapiens, the human species recognizes, because, you know, we are very intelligent. I think we are. We make technology like Zoom. Okay. So once we recognize that Homo sapiens is part of an ecosystem of intelligence, the intelligence is fundamental consciousness, which is primal, unstoppable, irreducible, and evolutionary, then what is happening is a reset. And when we come out of this, if we are humble, if we are intelligent, if we have some sacred feeling for existence, don't call it God, don't call it Allah, don't call it Ein Sof, don't call it Brahman, call it existence. And existence is same as life. And existence will not be stopped. Okay, existence will repair itself. Now, just as information, Doron, because I'm passionate about this.
Oh my God, I'm passionate. I'm hearing you and I'm so excited.
Just, you know, biologists tell us that if insects and bacteria and viruses disappeared from our planet, in 5 years, life would stop. There would be no life on this planet. If humans disappeared from this planet, in 5 years, it would flourish. Life would flourish without the human virus. Okay? So now we have to recognize, what is existence saying? Existence is saying, human beings, you're part of my existence. You're not the only ones. Okay? And in fact, if you want to survive, this is the way. This is the biosphere. This is the gift. The gift of existence is existence. The gift of existence is also awareness of existence. And if we don't have awareness of existence, then we don't exist. You know, the great Indian poet, Rabindranath Tagore, he said, that I exist is a perpetual surprise. That I exist is a perpetual surprise. And I tell you, if you're not surprised by existence, then your humanity is incomplete. You're not a human. Okay, you should be perpetually surprised by your existence and be grateful for it. And what we're having right now, what we're going through right now, is actually what is called grief. Grief is when you lose something which you took for granted. Okay, when you take your life for granted, you feel grief, right? I have seen grief as a physician in patients who are dying. Within 1 hour, I see them, somebody who has a heart attack, comes to the emergency room, I'm taking care of him. Within 1 hour, they go through, first they feel victimized. Why me? Well, it's not just you. Everybody dies, okay, at some point. Second, they feel angry, frustrated, upset, hostile. Finally, they resign. They feel helpless. And then only some people, only some accept, because you have to. You have to accept what is going on. When you accept, there is peace. And when there is peace, there is meaning. Right now, we are being asked, what is the meaning of what is happening? And the meaning of what is happening is, we take existence for granted when we should be grateful for it. And we should say, how can I cultivate, nurture, and expand this ecosystem of life, which is so vital, which is so joyous, which is so exuberant. Look at those flowers in the background. Where is the fountain that throws out these flowers in a ceaseless outbreak of ecstasy? Is Tagore's poem. So we have not tapped into the mystery of our existence. And what COVID-19 is saying is, exchange your cleverness for bewilderment. Your cleverness and your scientific insight and your cleverness and your arrogance and your hubris is what the problem is. If you for one moment stopped and you were bewildered by your existence, as Rumi said, exchange your cleverness for bewilderment, find humility, have a sacred attitude to existence. Doesn't matter what you call existence, because the mystery of existence is what humans have called God. Okay, humans have given names to the mystery of existence because the mystery of existence is insolvable, it is inconceivable, it is mysterious, it is irreducible, it is undefinable, it is formless, it is infinite, and you cannot conceptualize or rationalize the infinite. You have to surrender to it with the sacred feeling and humility. The ecosystem will repair itself and we will resurface, I hope, as humans, human beings, not human bodies, not human minds, not human doings, but as human beings. That's all I have to say.
Wow. All of your quotes from all over the years are coming back, like you are the universe, and the idea of we are a kind of a pilot that might be a failure and it's all depend on us. And the fact that what we are seeing outside reflect what we are seeing inside, and this is an opportunity for reset or restart for the individual and for the world. And so bees outside are also emotionals and all the cells within inside. And I remember the Grow Younger, Live Longer that we've done the project like 10 years ago and more, where you brought all this knowledge to the world. And right now it's happening and people are asking, really asking, how can we work in sync with existence, and how can we experience a better, what we call well-being or a better health. And they a little bit question the existing traditional medicine. uh, I would like to hear what you are feeling about that.
Well, I think in acute situations, you need traditional medicine, ventilators, and if somebody has bacterial infection, antibiotics. In the long term, they don't do anything, by the way. They don't alter the natural history of chronic illness. Chronic illness is associated with chronic low-grade inflammation in the body, which is also connected to what we call low-grade depression and low-grade anxiety. And now, low-grade depression sometimes doesn't have any cause. Low-grade anxiety doesn't have any cause. Actually, what it is happening is existential depression and existential suffering because of the threat of existential threat of suffering and death. That's the fear underlying in the background. Suffering, existential anxiety, and the fear of death. And no medicine can help that. But what happens is, as a result of that, people get panicked. And when people get panicked and they feel stress, then they have something in their body which is called sympathetic overdrive. So right now in the world, sympathetic overdrive is happening, causing stress. Stress means people are feeling threatened psychologically, emotionally, physically. Life is being threatened. So any perception of threat will cause inflammation, also will cause what we call compromising of the integrity of the immune system. So the immune system, if it's too active, overactive, it gives rise to autoimmune illness, and also inflammation and immune system overactivity is connected. If it is underactive, then you also have risk for infections and cancer and so on. So the immune system has to be fine-tuned. And in a normal human being, this fine-tuning happens through both the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, what we found, and this is our research, by the way, and other people's research, and if you want, you can find the research on chopralibrary.org, Chopra Library, or just go to choprafoundation.org. What we are finding, what other people are finding, is that people who are getting really sick, even the young people who are dying, maybe having cardiac arrhythmias, inflammation in the brain, so-called Kaposi sarcoma, inflammation in the microvessels, the people who are dying and getting really sick, they have on top of chronic inflammation. So chronic inflammation is like diabetes, obesity, heart disease, cancer, that's chronic inflammation background. But people who are getting really sick, they're also getting acute inflammation, what is called cytokine storms. Okay, cytokine storms. Cytokines are inflammatory markers that create a storm in the body that devastate your immune system, compromise your immune system, and increase inflammation, which causes acute damage and morbidity and mortality. You can decrease inflammation in your body through the following measures: good sleep, managing your stress through meditation and mindful awareness and yoga and breathing. By the way, yoga and deep breathing stimulate the vagus nerve, which counteracts the effects of stress. And some of this work is from Israel. Israelis are ahead of the game. They have developed technologies for stimulating the vagus nerve, technologies for actually measuring heart rate variability and improving the stimulation of the vagus nerve to deactivate inflammation. So deep breathing, yoga asana, healthy emotions like love, compassion, joy, equanimity, food that actually nurtures the microbiome instead of destroys the microbiome. So food that is not processed or refined or manufactured or has chemicals, food that comes from the Israeli kibbutzes, I've seen some of that, so beautifully done out there, even with inside, indoors, with the right nutrients, the right amount of sunlight, etc. We can decrease inflammation in our body and decrease the likelihood of COVID storms by 70 to 75% just through lifestyle measures, And this is something that is coming out soon. We are publishing it in peer-reviewed journals. But the best thing you can do right now is pay attention to the pillars of well-being: sleep, meditation and stress management, movement, mind-body coordination, yoga, breathing, maybe Tai Chi, Qigong, whatever you prefer, but anything that connects mind and body. Healthy emotions like empathy, love, compassion, joy. Healthy food and nutrition, some connection with nature, even touch a tree, walk on the ground, be grounded, and then practice a little self-awareness. Ask yourself, what does this mean? Because if you don't ask yourself what this means is, you're a biological robot. You'll recycle the same misery that is being recycled right now in the world. What does it mean? Once you find meaning, you'll find the direction.
It's amazing because in like 5 minutes, you summarize a full day of 9 hours of talking right to the point, exactly of those pillars of really sleep, nutrition, movement, relaxation, as you just said, meaning, and asking questions. And I know that you published the Metahuman book. Tell us a little bit about that and what's coming.
Meta means beyond. Meta means beyond. Human means the normal human conditioned mind. We are conditioned by our culture, by our religion, by our nationality, by our history, by our economics, by other people's thoughts, by social media. Okay, what is the mind before it's conditioned? That's the meta-human mind. It is infinitely creative. So right now, we have these metaphors. War on drugs, war on poverty, war on terrorism, war on COVID-19, war on everything is war. War on terrorism, and war on war. It's an oxymoron. War, no violent solution is a solution. No violent solution is a solution. Only solutions that are solutions are creative. And when you go beyond your conditioned mind, all your assumptions, and go back to the original mind, which is the infinite mind, totally without conditions, that is metahuman.
Amazing.
It's the creative mind.
Yes. And if I would ask you a year ago, could it be that the world will stop for even 30 seconds or 10 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes, and people will not travel and not go out of their house, and it will be worldwide? Would you believe that something like that can happen to this world?
No. A few years ago, we could not have believed that can happen. What have we learned? We have learned already something. I thought climate change was irreversible, but now I don't think it's irreversible. I think it's reversible, number one. Number two, I thought that the social structures, Wall Street, this, that, were undestroyable. But we are seeing, sooner or later, going to see the collapse of the financial systems, and clever people are already creating cryptocurrencies, and they know what they're going for. So you're going to see a collapse of political ideologies. You're going to see a collapse of even nation states, the nation states that we think are the leading nation states of the world. You're going to see a collapse of nation states. You're going to see a collapse of economic structures. You're going to see, actually, dare I say, new currencies. You're going to see new ways of thinking, creative ways of solving the world. You're going to see the birth, I hope, of a new humanity that transcends boundaries, like artificial boundaries, conceptual boundaries, that actually tells us what the truth is. And finally, what you're going to see, I think, is
Wow.
not only new technologies. I see some of the technologies coming from Israel, but now, by the way, we also know that it is possible to create a fossil fuel free economy. So when the jet planes, the next generation of jet planes comes, it won't be fossil fuels. It'll be solar energy or something like that. It'll be alternative energies. And technologies like Zoom. I mean, you're in Israel, I'm here, we're having a conversation, people all over the world are listening. This is only going to be better. Holographically, I will be there next to you next time. So we will be there together, okay? We'll be surrounded by surround sound. We will be talking to the world as if we are in the same classroom. And new technologies, deep learning systems, artificial intelligence, cyber technology to bioregulate your body, immersive dreamscapes, virtual reality, deep learning systems, automated biological sustainability, automated environmental sustainability. This is all going to come if we give it the opportunity right now. You know, when the First World War happened and the Great Depression happened, what emerged? AM radio. Second World War, what happened? Television. Okay,
Yes.
the 1988 financial crisis, 1990s, internet, 2000, mobile phone. After that, smartphones. And today, see what's happening. So every crisis has brought creative innovations, and the innovative and creative people right now are not arguing, not fighting, not saying right-wing conspiracy, left-wing conspiracy, not saying it's China or it's whatever. The creative people are saying, what's the opportunity to create a better world? And I think the opportunity right now is to create a critical mass for a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful world. Period.
Oh my God, that's the Alliance for New Humanity again.
All over
Beautiful.
again. The timing is now. If
Exactly.
not now, when?
Absolutely. Dr. Deepak Chopra, first of all, we love you and we appreciate your gift to the world. And you gave us a lot of inspiration, practical recommendation, and a beautiful inspiration for peace, not only in the Middle East, not only within us, but worldwide. And we'll thank Corona for that, because the world needed a reset, restart. And thank you so much for your time, and see you, as we say, next year in Jerusalem, whether
I
it's
hope
in
to be
virtual,
there,
whether
and
it's,
send me a link to this conversation.
I will. Thank you so
God
much.
bless.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Shalom.